was before the war. The Japanese were they're very helpful people. They allow people, the Rotanese people, to earn money.
Rota was used as a communication standpoint from here to Guam and Saipan to communicate with during the Japanese soldiers were doing that, and they communicate through Guam and Saipan.
Especially during the war, that they cannot, especially daytime, you cannot make fire. You cannot go out and harvest your crops because of the fact that you might be killed with the bombing of the U.S. And at the same time, the Japanese does not allow them to harvest their own plantation because they're trying to save all those crops for the Japanese military. So they have to come out at nighttime to steal their own crops, which is very not profit. And the sufferings and the sacrifice that they experience during those times, it's hard. The life is so hard.
During that period, 1943 to 1945, there are 9 children born from Rota, and there are only 4 survive. The reason for that is because some of the mothers are afraid of the war, and they cannot produce milk. So the babies are malnourished and eventually die. Also, there's not enough food, so that's basically the reason for malnourishment, and the kids died.
My parents going toward the war, my mom and dad and us children were taken to Saipan. All of the civilians on Tinian were removed. And we were taken to Saipan, and my dad had to work for the airfield, Aslito airfield, fixing that up for the war. And he will go during the daytime, and we will not see him until he gets back home. But anyway, that was what my mom told me, is that he works for the Aslito.
They knew that something was coming because they were all the boys, everybody from the age of 6 who were unmarried, and they would go to the girls' house. They're always looking for their children, because in the mornings they're taken out they haven't seen their children for months. And they were, according, like Auntie Aya, my Auntie Lydia, and all those ladies, they would build the roads by hand in Yap.
So when the war started, they have a makeshift cave, like what they call bokongo in Samoro, that's like dirt, and they hide in there, and they concrete on it. So my parents take all my brother and sister, and they hide in there.
Durante ni igera manistabama na giza punape lo i taz ti umalung i mercano ti manhalung i tano na i plena mo fatu za ababam iza punape pes ane mo puigera ma kada uno mana fanhono para tanunia pes manhono am tati Saipan. Pes manyagaham Saipan pes tato matsotsugi para i militar ni antes na tempo mafananan USCC na mamamok sa Iguaca lo Iguaca ginin Saipan ma-transfer papa Tinian. Pes si tatawdan sila nanaho manhono zaman saga Tinian.
there is war impending and that people should be prepared or should be making preparation. Maybe 4 or 5 days after we had been in that first cave that my father brought everybody down to stay, a Japanese soldier who was wounded came to the cave and kicked everybody out at gunpoint. He was trying to shoot anybody who doesn't obey his command. So he kicked us out from that cave. And he himself went in there and quite possibly maybe waiting for his companion or his fellow soldiers, Japanese soldiers, to come and hit there. I don't know. But when it was time for all the families to move to the other cave that my father was going to take the whole group, he went back to the cave because he forgot something. And he saw the Japanese guy lying on top of the rock and trying to knife himself, kill himself, suicide. The lady that was hiding in the cave with us, I don't know where she picked up the chamorro, Saipan is chamorro, raising the crucifix. She was holding the crucifix when we saw the Americans, and she was raising the crucifix up and shouting, "Paz chamorro, paz chamorro." Paz is Spanish actually, so it's, the dog came, then the soldier came, then we all trooped out from the cave, and we followed everybody to the truck. Then we were hauled down to Susupi, Camp Susupi. They put us together with everybody else. Then later on, they segregate the Saipanese and put them in Chanakanoa. Only the Koreans and the Japanese were in Susupi.
From the beach, we found dead people, especially soldiers, Japanese soldiers, and my parents will reach down and tap them and prayed, I guess. I think they said their prayers when they did. But I was 7 years old.
See, my mom, they don't know much too because she got married just a few days before the war. So she had to spend her honeymoon with my father in the cave. And then they took cover to cover my father up so the people, Japanese, won't see him because his complexion is very white and he looked like an American, so they don't want him to be killed. So they cover him, and I think only thing is can see us is this, in the cave.
Actually, my dad, who was given a rifle during the battle and basically told, hey, fight for Japan or, you know, we'll just go ahead and kill you. So he fought for, he ran, well, I want to say he was always quick to stress that he never really like actually fought. He was just given a rifle and he ran around with these guys, a bunch of other Sugar King Company employees, and, you know, just tried to survive.
But let me just say that the battle for Saipan kind of gave birth to the Marine Scouts.
They called them the Marine Scout, and he was one of those people that was recruited. Their job is to guide the American soldiers into the jungle to locate Japanese snipers.
And in the middle, there was the bomb fell down. And one of the sisters, half of the whatever here in the stomach came out. The other Spanish sisters, they said, we will come back because fire all over on top of the Caravera hill. So they said, we will come back. But you know, when it's not your time to die, imagine the sister, the half of the stomach was hanging out.
My father got that tupu sugarcane into the cave. My father would take off the skin and chew the cane to build up the juice, sugar juice in his mouth, and would take me and, you know, put my lips into his mouth, and then he transferred the sugarcane juice into mine to keep me silent. So at the time when I was only 2-3 years old, to keep me from crying of hunger or thirsty. That's how my mother says, son, that's the way we keep you from crying in the night time, because the Japanese would come and, you know, shoot us because they don't want anybody crying or making noise.
He even mentioned about the jumping down in Suicide Cliff, that they were in loudspeaker telling them not to jump, but the father will tie the youngest to the wife by the neck and push them down, then he's the last one to jump. Yeah, and there were sheep out there with the loudspeaker shouting at them, please don't jump or we won't hurt you.
After the war, during the encampment, the grandfather of Congressman Kilili, si Ton Kilili, Gregorio, no? He was interpreter for the military. And he recollection of anyone working for any bakery came up, the first name was Herman. That's how my dad, and then during encampment, the military said, anybody here know how to make bread? And being in that encampment, and my dad wishing to improve the life of my mom, you know, raised his hand. And that's how it started.
Honestly, you know, as all this, the memorials that are here, our kids needs to continue the stories, and we should not forget. I would say, for me, our generation is humble beginnings, because we now understood what our elders went through. And look at us today, peace. Well, everywhere around the world is fighting. And, you know, we need to continue to echo that to everybody.
Every now and then, I would come here. I really appreciate the list of the names of the local people that passed away. I would go there every now and then and just read the names.
And this is where people that can also bring in memories of a lot of our people and Chamorros and the Carolines. Yeah.
Magaid ne, sen magaid no. Sa afa ususedi tutungo lo hususedi ginin asnanaw daw unana un sendangkulo na si Diyos masi dan agradecimiento sinanod at tapaw ni manalola sa antisia. Tibay gi pago gini matotot sung kumikwentus. Puti dan napiniti hafa hususedi lo unana si Diyos loki donklon si Diyos masi niguiza no gumia todo ilinala mami Zana maulik tati sa antiguiza mas tada sinamunasinya enawa edu na mampus utatadyo de sa inata pro asiihid umaawasinuhita za ugiyahid gi para minaulik enawa